except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing. I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn, because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I have today. Except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing. I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn, because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today.
I'm LaVern, and this is One Street Over. What you doing? Good morning. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, it's so funny. I have friends of mine that'll talk to me. They're like, I saw you when you signed on, and y'all sat there and talked for 2 minutes before you turned the microphones on. And they try to read our lips, and see what we're saying, because they're like, that's stuff they don't want us to hear.
Yep, it's the last sentence.
And, of course, the elephant in the room is the twins. You guys walked in, and I was like, it's the uniform of Willow Oak.
It is. Yeah. It is.
Yeah, now you got to get on them microphones.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, unintentional.
Yeah, but that was hysterical. I mean, you guys said we didn't do this intentionally, and just as soon as you took your coats off, I was like, ha ha. Oh, yeah. Well, my grandson, my family, my sweet daughter-in-law, Erica, and her mama, Teresa and Tara, they twin those kids all the time, or triplet them, and they're so funny. And so anyway, I see the twinning all the time, and y'all are hysterical. Hello, this is Bel Stuart.
Yep.
And what is your new role at Willow Oak?
So I am now the executive director of Willow Oak.
Okay.
I am taking over for Musetta, who has stepped into well, we're hoping eventually she can be convinced to do that. She needs to spend some time with Coy. But she is stepping into a role as artistic director and director of development to help with fundraising.
Cool.
And just, have a little bit less of a workload.
Sure.
And do some of the more fun things that she enjoys at Willow Oak.
Gotcha. So. And of course, Lacie Beu.
Yeah.
And your official title is?
Marketing, Communications, and Event Coordinator.
Okay, I have to. It's a mouthful.
It's a mouthful.
I don't even try. There's some. It's just like, it's so funny. I've got several that'll come in here and they're like, you finally got down what I do, and it's like trying to remember it all. But yours is a mouthful. I mean, it's just all the things.
It fits.
Yeah, it does. It
Well,
does.
and when you work for a small nonprofit too, quite honestly, you
wear all the hats.
You pitch in everywhere. I mean, because it takes a whole village.
Yes.
You wear all the hats, and I love the hat. I got a hat. I love the pen. I love all that.
Thank you.
I love hats. I'm not
Me
6
too.
foot tall though. When I wear a hat, everybody's like, "Look at the hat."
Well, just don't wear like a 10-gallon hat.
Yeah, I know. I do have hats I wear.
You should wear a top hat for sure.
Just for fun and for grins and
love
giggles.
it. Well, you could wear it to the Modern Art Gala.
There you go. There you go.
You like
that? But I just we were talking about all the things that happen at Willow Oak that I want to be a part of, and I just can't make time for it. I'm trying. It's on my bucket list of things to do. One of these days, I am going to come do the music with y'all, do the choir. Eventually, it's going to happen. It's not going to happen this year, but eventually we'll get there. I want to.
You come to the events. You support us in big ways.
Absolutely.
We just want to do
love
for you too.
Love you guys, and I love the venue and the way that you guys have set up the old church. I love the little auditorium, and I really enjoy going to shows there. I really do.
I love it.
I think it's something. I like the intimacy of it. People think because I've done so many years in media that I'm a crowd person. I am not. I'm over crowds. I've had those experiences. I've been to these massive shows and people's like, you want to go to a concert? I'm like, nope. Big concerts at the arenas and nope, not my thing. It just, and it's not so much the crowds is I can't pay attention. I'm too busy watching the crowd and all that kind of stuff. And I love that intimate. I do. And I mean, it's a limited seating thing. If you're going to go, you got to get there and get your tickets.
Absolutely.
And you'll do multiple shows, multiple nights a lot of the times for special events. But I really enjoy it there.
Where
several things.
We're really fitting that goal that we wanted, where we said we want to feel like the Ryman and the Frist had this little baby, and it's the Willow Oak concert event hall.
I love it.
Yeah,
That's cute.
I
love it.
Being a former sanctuary as well. I mean, the acoustics in there
Beautiful.
are just. As a singer and pianist myself, like, you know, part of the lure for me to get down there was like, oh, I have 2 pianos at my hands every day that I can go in anytime I feel like.
Yeah.
And it's just such a great natural sound. And of course, you know, our sound guys, when we do events, also do an amazing job showcasing that space. But even just a cappella or just going in there without being mic'd, it's just a really beautiful, special kind of feel in that room.
The pride everybody takes in that center too is great. Our sound and lighting guy, our lighting guy was there at 8:00 last night when I was leaving because he wanted to put some finesse touches to his lighting that he's installed.
Oh, how fun.
You know, it's his lighting in that. That's a part that it makes it feel like it's his.
You want to say who it is?
Oh, yeah. The Tennessee Sound guys, Joseph Nicholson and David Bliss. They do a lot of the lighting now.
Yeah, they do.
They do. They go above and beyond for every job, every event, and our community.
Who is heading up your sound?
David Bliss of the Tennessee Sound guys.
Okay, same thing. They're doing sound and lighting. Okay,
absolutely.
I wasn't sure. I see Thomas Perko around all the time. Y'all know Thomas Perko? I didn't know if he's doing anything there. He does a lot for Robertson County Players. Yeah, and he is associated with our schools, and I just have an association with him and see him a lot in regards to sound as well. So I wasn't sure if he. For some reason, I was thinking I'd seen him at a show there, but it may have been a Players event that I saw there. They all kind of. The arts, you know.
There's a lot of cross collaboration.
Yeah,
and that's gonna even be that's something that y'all are gonna see even more in the years to come. I also serve as the show producer now for Bell Witch Fall Festival in Adams, and have several friends that are in the Robertson County Players and. If Danny actually has his way, we're gonna be stirring up all kinds of trouble in the next.
So when
year.
you move into Robertson County,
as soon as my house in East Nashville sells.
Very good, awesome. So you are heading this way.
Yeah, we are. I grew up in Cheatham County, honestly, just up the street. So Springfield has always been on my radar. My mom and I used to come down here. They lived in Chapmansboro for years until they just recently retired, and. You know, our girls' day out was for me to drive down from Nashville, come to her house. We'd hit up Springfield, hit up Burdett's for.
I was going to say Burdett's. That sounds like a Burdett's day.
Hit up, you know, Miss
right
Lucille's over near Sango, and you know all the antique shops down off the square and everything. And I mean, it's just such a. I mean, it really is. Like you're in a Hallmark movie every day.
Yeah, I agree. I love where we live.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, it's so sweet, and you know, I just love it. You know, talking about your mom because one of my mom's passed, but one of my favorite memories of my mother was she was one of these. I've just had my knees replaced. I have a lot of joint issues, and joint replacement's fabulous. You guys, you really need to check it out if you're limping around. I'm just saying. But my mother had been debilitated from her knees for years and kind of was slumped over. And this is probably, I mean, it's a good 20 years before she passed. And I'll never forget, right after she got well, and she was wanting to go antiquing. And she was at the big antique store over there down from the post office, which, you know, and I was watching her walk through there upright, and I was like, it was just like a new person. But that's one of my favorite imageries of my mom that comes back to my mind is her walking through that store right after she'd had her knee replacement. It had gone so well, and she was just
booking it.
And I'll never forget that, but it was in that store.
Oh,
and
wow,
and it's just as soon as you mentioned that, I just had that vision of my mom pop back in my head.
Oh,
and
that's
it was just,
sweet.
you know, and it's just, I love that I've got those kinds of memories here, you know, because I'm from Kentucky.
Yeah.
But I was only there for 17 years. I always argued with my mom. I was like, she goes, "You're always going to be a Kentuckian." And I'm like, "I've been in Tennessee much longer than I was in Kentucky, Mom. Come on.
Yes.
You're still a Kentuckian." But anyway, nonetheless, but yeah, we got a special place. We got a special place.
For sure. Yeah, I really at this point in my life, I try to say when I have to do bios and do things that say where I'm from, I really try to hype up the fact that I am a 7th generation Middle Tennessean, because I am. It's something I'm very proud of on both sides of my family.
That's
And
cool.
that encompasses, it does encompass all of Middle Tennessee. One side of the family goes back 6 generations in Burns and Dixon County.
Oh, yeah.
And we still have a lot of family in Dixon and South Cheatham, over near the Narrows of the Harpeth and Pigram. And then, I have a lot of family that were down here in Coopertown for generations, and Robertson too. And then, growing up in Ashland City, it's not that I don't love all of y'all, because I do, and I love you equally. So I don't want to leave anybody out, But Middle Tennessee in general is it's a very special area, and
Really
we've got
is.
so many great small towns like Springfield, where you're just going to meet the nicest folks you could ever encounter, and great food, great little shops and things that you can find along the way. I mean, take a weekend trip and just get lost and find some new places to hit up.
I have that happen. I'll be in town at something, and somebody that I know lives in Sumner County, I'll see him. I'm like, "Ha ha ha! Look at you! I know what you're doing." And it's just, I had that happen at Christmas time. Some dear friends of mine that live up in Hendersonville, I saw them at the center. Whenever we were doing the Christmas sampler, and they popped in. I'm like, "What are you doing here?" "Well, we just came down here for dinner at the depot, and then we heard about the Christmas sampler, and and I'm like, "Welcome, you're home."
Traditions.
That's right.
I
That's
came
right.
down and did one of the horse-drawn carriage rides with Parks and Rec in the city during the holidays, and it was great. The horses were so cute with their little lights on and
I know.
everything, and
I've done that a couple of times. Yeah.
man, it was super cold that night. It was the
Yeah.
it was the coldest night I think we had for us to do it, but we didn't mind. We just bundled up, and we went and got some hot chocolate from Historic Perk before we went on the tour, and then we went to the depot and got dinner when we were done, and it was a great little night.
Yeah, it's fun. Good stuff, y'all. So, what's going on with Willow Oak? Y'all got your beautiful new catalogs.
do.
Where can we get those? To tell us all about everything.
You can pick them up at Willow Oak anytime, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. But you can also reach out to us online. If you have a business or know of some resources that we could drop these off to share with people.
Maybe the art class across the hall from me at school. Miss
Absolutely.
Harris would love to have a stack of these.
Absolutely. We got to get them approved initially from the Board of Education before we take them to the schools.
Oh, I didn't know that.
We're rule followers. Nobody's ever going to believe I said that out loud.
Okay.
I had to turn my head just for a second, but
Oh, okay, so I can't just hand these off.
I'm not sure what the policy for teachers is, but I know what my policy is as taking any kind of content to the schools.
Okay, well, I
Yeah.
can hand a few to Miss Garrison and say,
Yeah, check it out.
yeah, check it out. Okay.
Check it out.
Well, for one thing, she has students that are just gifted that need to know about these programs.
Oh, I have a
And-
story.
I want to hear it. Story.
Oh, it's such a good story. Okay, so I do the arts and media for the career expos for the schools, for the Chamber of Commerce when they do this. It is so fun. They have this test that they take, and it kind of syncs them up.
Aptitudes.
Yes, the aptitude test. And half these kids don't even know why they're in arts and media.
Right.
Most of them come in prepared to be bored for 15 minutes, that kind of thing. Well, I'm ready to just challenge that immediately, make friendships that are going to last forever. And it's mostly boys that come see me first.
Oh,
And
really?
they come in there, a little teenage boy attitude. I'm like, ugh, the arts are not for you. You're already so confident. They'll just make you more confident. And you definitely don't need that. They're talking about creative job placement, things that they can do. Well, I don't need to be creative because I'm gonna be a underwater welder. I'm like, oh, you mean like a blacksmith, the very first welder? That's a folk art. So then they start challenging me.
Oh,
So then they start challenging me, and I'll connect the arts.
great connection too. Yeah.
I'll just start connecting them to all the things. Football players, you're going to take some dance classes, some ballet classes. You're going to get some balance, just the things. And then when they leave, I'll hit them with, oh, and by the way, I like how you creatively were thinking to try to stump me and find an occupation that doesn't have to do with the arts. They love that.
Absolutely.
That's hysterical.
It's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun.
See, I do that to my kids all the time because I keep telling, I tell our principal that every single child that goes through Greenbrier needs to take audio video 1, because whether they're interested in it at all, they're all broadcasting because they're on social media and they're broadcasting their life, and they don't take that seriously. And so I encourage them. Any kid, they'll come into my class. Why are you here? Well, they just put me in here, and I'm like, well, good, because you're a broadcaster, because of what you're doing on social media, and they'll be, that kind of thing. But so I get that,
I'll make that connection with social media. Who's creating the content, the TikToks, because they say they're not artistic, they're not creative at all.
And it's like, oh, you just don't know.
Well, now I've got a bowl of bones at Willow Oak. Yeah,
Okay, explain.
that way, because every week we hear, well, I don't have a creative bone in my body.
Oh,
So then I'll hand them a
yes.
bone.
That's
Like,
funny.
Here you go. Put it in your
Here's
pocket.
Put it in your pocket. Now you have a creative bone.
Yes.
You're
Absolutely.
funny. These are not real bones. These are like fabricated bones,
don't
right?
know.
Are they?
I don't
You
know.
just like, yeah, you're funny.
Mm-hmm.
You're so funny.
Oh,
But I love this because it's like right inside. Number one, we're going to get to meet Bel. I love that. And
she's got quite a background too.
well, let's just take a look here.
yeah.
I was looking at the calendar, but let's just go back. And so tell us about yourself, Bel. What is your background?
Oh gosh, well, I was born and raised in a multi-generational musical family here in Ashland City that have been playing at every level from for fun to super professional for years and years. And
You want to drop any names? I mean, we're just who? I mean,
my
it's Nashville.
My uncle, who was my musical mentor, and I love to death. He's only 8 years older than me, so honestly, he's more like my older brother. We
Sure.
grew up at my grandma's house together. He actually is going to be playing our Valentine's Day concert at Willow Oak on the 14th. His name is Bel Stuart. He is a phenomenal singer-songwriter and storyteller in his own right. He is also a very gifted musician who has toured solo with his wife, Stacey Earle, and also played in her brother Steve Earle's band as a Duke.
Steve, I know that name.
He started off his music career at 18 playing as a guitarist for Freddie Fender.
I know
which,
that
which
name.
gave him a real quick
Awesome.
education, having never washed
Yeah.
laundry before on the road and those sorts of things. And he and his wife Stacey sometimes perform as a duo. They performed as a duo for years and years and toured all over the world together that way. And then family obligations kind of
sure.
took a front seat
Yeah.
for a minute. They did just play the country outlaw cruise last year with Steve Earle and
fun.
Mojo Nixon, who sadly is no longer with us. He was a great artist and great broadcaster for Sirius Radio.
Okay.
But they are pretty staunchly in the Americana circuit.
Yeah, but
both
I
of
love
them.
that.
Yeah,
So
but
that's
he's
I
got
love
a lot of blues and country
Yeah.
background, a lot of like Merle Travis, Chet Atkins style,
Oh, yeah.
picking style guitar work, and so he's brilliant. And I mean, I thought everybody's family sang Christmas carols in 3 and 4 part harmony. Everybody does that, right?
We do, but I mean, I grew up Church of Christ,
Yeah.
so CFC, man, we got a cappella down.
Oh, absolutely.
If you've ever been to us, if you've never been to a Church of Christ, go just to hear us sing without instruments, because it's really beautiful. I mean, it really is. It's a lost art in some ways.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, we do all have that one relative that probably should tone it down a little bit and
Of
not sing quite as
course.
loud, but they're proud of what they're doing and
Yeah.
they're singing for Jesus. So let them
There
go.
you go. Let's go.
You know, but yeah, I grew up musical myself, and I wrote my first song at the age of 11 and haven't stopped since. And you know, when you're a loudmouth kid who can sing, you get pulled into the school musicals because they need somebody that's not afraid to be on stage.
Sure.
And you know, however many, gosh, we won't say how old, but many decades later, I'm still doing musical theater in Middle Tennessee. You know, on both sides, production side as a playwright, as a music director and an actor. So
Fun.
Producer.
yeah. I
So
just,
have
I
you
just
done
love the
anything with
arts.
players? Have you done anything with Robertson County players?
I have not yet. Well,
We
not
got you here.
offi-
We gotta
not
get you here,
Yeah,
you
not
know. Yeah.
officially. I
Sure.
have had. I did have several of their familiar faces in our productions of Smoke and Spirit this year down in Adams for the Bell
Okay.
Witch Fall Festival. But yeah, I'm sure. I'll end up doing some work with them once we get moved down here, and
Okay.
you know, I have some time, and I maybe have some time in my schedule. I don't know when that's going to be, but yeah, it's I just love the arts. I love supporting the arts. I love facilitating the arts so
Oh,
that
yeah.
other people can enjoy them, and that was the big draw for me to come to Willow Oak. It's somewhere where I really felt like I could make a really big impact with the experience and the passion that I have for the arts. And you know, having grown up in a small town environment myself, access to the arts is so important for a lot of those kids, including me when I was that age.
Oh, yeah.
You know, not everybody is going to grow up and take over the family farm. Not everybody played sports. Not everybody, you know, wanted to go to college necessarily.
Not everybody
for
had
that.
families that sang together.
Yeah, that's true.
Sure.
Yeah,
They
not.
could
I mean, not
yeah.
everybody grew up in the environment I grew up in. So, you know, to see a kid that has never found their thing come and do a theater workshop for the first time, or a public speaking workshop, or you know, even do a multimedia workshop or camp or something like that.
Participate in their
Yeah.
first vendor event and sell their art and realize that they
Absolutely.
can
Yeah.
make.
I mean,
they
you
can
just
do
see
it.
them light up, and you just
Yeah.
see, you know, these are there are careers in the arts. Lacie and I are living proof of that. We
Right.
both
Yeah.
are working full time in the arts, you know, for a nonprofit. So it is there is a path to that, and there's plenty of opportunity if that's what you want to do. You just have to find your own special way to do it.
I love it. I love it. And what you're talking about, people, you know, that have never been exposed to it. One of my favorite stories to tell, and I think you've heard this before, is when I was working at I worked at the church for about 7 years, and encompassing in that, I did English second language
Yeah.
classes for a lot of people. And I had this one that had several that were Spanish speakers. One lady, I'm thinking she was originally from Honduras, and she was probably 40, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I remember she came to class one day, and she goes, "I can play piano." And I'm like, "Oh, that's great." She goes, I didn't know I could play piano." And what had happened is she had never been exposed to a keyboard.
Yeah.
Mm.
And she, at some point, sat down, and she can play by ear just instantly.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And it's just one of those just gives you chills
It's
kind of stories.
magical.
People that have got that gift.
Yeah.
And of course, one of the first things we did was find her a keyboard. I remember I put out on social media, "I need a keyboard," and somebody brought me a keyboard. I was like, "No, I need a, I need a
Yeah.
piano keyboard." And we got her a keyboard, but it just blew my mind. She was just like, and you think about people who've never, we've got kids in our neighborhoods
Yeah.
that have never sat down behind a keyboard or picked up a guitar.
Mhm.
We've got a kid that my daughter-in-law's cousin, they adopted a little boy. Her husband's an EMT, and it's a little boy he encountered on a medical call that they just started, you know,
Yeah.
going and visiting and taking care of when he was about 3 years old.
Yeah.
Well, they eventually adopted him. He's theirs.
Oh, that's awesome.
And his sister, that just likes to try everything, wanted to play banjo. And so she picked it up and then put it down. And then he picked it up, and they're like, The next thing you know, he's got guitar. You should see this kid on a guitar.
See, that does
Just
it.
a gift.
Yeah.
Just a gift for it. And I mean, just a little rock star. And,
We have a wall
It's
at
just crazy.
We have a wall at Willow Oak. Piano sits under it. Every time Martha looks at it, she says, "I want to fill this wall with instruments,
Yeah.
donated instruments." That way, people, our community knows, hey, there's a wall at Willow Oak, and we can just go play with all those instruments. You can pick them up.
Absolutely.
There's a piano on the
Yes.
front porch.
I love
That's
that.
it's fixing to go. We're going to replace it with a new one, right?
Yeah. And I mean, you know, they're not made to be out in the weather.
Yeah.
This
and
one had
so-
smoke damage, and that's
Yeah.
why it's out there.
And
We
yeah.
repurposed it. We repurposed
yeah.
it.
Absolutely.
But the same thing, just making it accessible.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, let's talk about normalizing creativity for adults and for
Yeah.
senior citizens, because that's something that we're
Something
very
she-
passionate about with Willow Oak. Again, having not everybody growing up in that environment and having access, whether that's financially or, time wise, maybe, a lot of us grew up with single parents, that just, don't always have the time to take you to lessons, even if they could find the money.
We can even speak the elephant in the room out loud. The arts are expensive.
Yeah, they are.
Maintaining
They are.
instruments,
It
buying
is.
the supplies, finding a hobby, finding one you're not good at, throwing that money away, like I did macrame. And then when you buy quality art supplies, it is expensive.
It is. But,
Yeah.
there is no age limit to creativity. I
No.
mean, if you have ever wanted to write a poem and get up at an open mic and do that, that's something that we're going to start putting into our programming at Willow Oak. I know a friend of mine down here has been driving his daughter almost to Murfreesboro, I believe, for open mic nights to
Would
do
be
her
the Bryants,
poetry.
would it?
Yep, absolutely. Yep, the Bryants. Yep.
Yeah. Nick's daughter, Haley. Yeah.
Yeah, Nick
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Nick and I are conspiring
Yeah.
at the moment.
Which
but
is just a cool story.
It
I
is.
got to get Haley in here and let her do her thing.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
girl just self-published a book on Amazon.
did.
I mean, that is it's
So excited
it's
for her.
phenomenal.
That's
Mm-hmm.
awesome.
But we've got. I know there are older ladies. I used to help facilitate ladies rock camp in Nashville. And we started that as a response to all of the women who were bringing their girls to Southern Rock and Roll Girls Camp. And we're like, I wish I could have done this when I was a kid and played band, played in a band, wrote a song, whatever, made buttons and T-shirts and learned all this stuff.
Yeah.
And so we started doing a fundraiser on the weekends for that. It is great. I love seeing kids get so excited about the arts, but let me tell you, you have not lived until you have seen a stage full of 40 and 50 something women that have never
60?
never played. Well, I had a grandma that
62.
played in a metal band for the first time at one of our ladies rock
Oh, I would
camps.
do it in a
Rocked
heartbeat.
out on some bass guitar.
I would do it in a heartbeat.
Living their heart
I'm
dreams out.
telling you, 'cause that's heart. Oh, the Wilson
Exactly.
girls, honey. I'm a Wilson girl. My maiden name's Wilson.
Oh, nice.
And I was always just, I love the Wilson girls.
Oh, yeah.
But those are the lead singers.
Can you imagine how exciting it is to have her as the new executive director
love
now?
this.
Right?
Yeah.
Isn't
I
this
love it.
fun?
Well, Perry Myers is a good friend of mine, and I would just, I'm just so, I would have loved to have had a place to go and put rock bands together when I was a kid.
That was the first thing I asked her if they've made the connection. So we're going to
Oh, you
introduce her
need
to
to
Mr.
meet. Yeah, you need to meet. You need to meet Perry. And because I mean that's just because the first show I went to in the venue over at Willow Oak was to see Aiden.
The Chromium Band.
The Chromium. Well,
Yeah.
Aiden is my student, and it was so funny. I just love how I figured out that he was just so gifted with guitar. Is he was my student in audio video, and we were just talking about hobbies and things like that. And I saw him kind of editing some band stuff. I said, "Oh, you play music?" Yeah. I said, "Were you any good?" "I'm okay." He was the musician of the month for WKRN last fall in
nice.
October.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's
So yeah,
fantastic.
he's super gifted.
Mr.
And,
Perry even taught them concert etiquette. They had a little fan base. They had some old groupies in the front pew, giggling in the bathroom, signed the set list, gave it to us, the whole thing. Mr.
they're
Perry
just
taught them all.
adorable. I love it.
I love
they're
that.
just it's the cutest thing. They are. It's just I love what he's doing. I just love the whole story.
Those are
and,
bad rock stars. They are not cute. just
I
kidding.
know,
I'm
whatever.
just kidding.
But I just so much that you're saying. I want to keep doubling back. Like I said, I love the rock band thing because
Yeah.
I have. That's always been. I've always if I could. Everybody's like, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" I wanted to be Tanya Tucker, and that terrified my daddy.
Well, I
And
mean,
so-
Tanya had a little bit of a reputation. Let's be
She
honest.
did, and that's what I want. I mean, I
Yeah.
wanted to.
I mean,
be,
phenomenal
I
performer.
idolized Johnny Cash.
Yep.
I grew up just listening to his music over and over and
yeah.
over. Bluegrass.
I'm a huge Carter family.
Yeah, see,
fan.
just I loved
and,
all that stuff, and but I loved that Southern rock, man. That was always Leonard Skinner. I love all that stuff, and so I mean and I sing, and that's always been my thing, and I've just never been good with instruments, and I know if it's the discipline word because I played piano a little bit when I was a kid. Had a aunt that was a gifted music teacher, and I wouldn't sit still long enough. I hate that I didn't keep with the piano. because I can't play a lick anymore. And guitar. I mean, I can chord and do some things. I can pick a little bit out on a mandolin. I won't do it in front of anybody because I'm terrible. And I just need to spend time with it.
Discipline.
And, yeah.
The arts, they do teach you that, though. When they do.
And I've
But,
just got to.
Art is the one
back
thing you
up.
can fail at.
Oh, yeah.
When we talk, people always talk about their successes. They never talk about their failures.
I do.
It is imperative. It's not even optional. You have got to fail a lot as an artist to find what you're good at. And that's the fun part is you
True.
get to try a lot of things and then find what really lights you up and lights your fire.
80% of them are felt like to
Yeah.
yourself. You're your own worst critic.
Absolutely.
Somebody else is going to love something I threw away. But then once you're done with that 80%, then that last 20%, you find something you're proud of.
And there's therapy aspects and things too.
yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
you
yeah.
can just do art because you simply enjoy doing it.
And that's something Musetta is going to be honing in.
Yes.
Well, it's just like we have the veterans. We have veterans. The Veteran Service Office comes in once a month, and one of the things they really love to talk about is an art program for veterans
Oh,
that are
nice, yeah.
dealing with PTSD and things like
Absolutely.
that. And there is an art program
Mm-hmm.
for our veterans, and I'm wanting to say they meet a couple of times a month up
Yeah.
at the American Legion, and people get that it is a big therapy thing.
I know Tennessee Arts Commission they just rolled, it was one of their rolling grants, and it was healing arts.
Yeah.
We did not work with that grant. We kind of missed that deadline, but I do know that Monhaven and Springfield is doing that just if they wanted to make an additional connection.
Yeah.
Okay.
They have a program going.
Okay, well, that's really cool. And so, I mean, just all this stuff. If this has interested
Yeah.
you, why don't you just go ahead and because some of the times we'll get people for the first half hour and then they have to go to work and all that. So remind people how to get in touch with you guys and what your hours are. And let's kind of do that, and I'll do
You
my
got it.
break.
Yeah.
And then we'll come back because I've got another question I want to ask you.
Yeah,
A class I want you to teach because of what you said. Okay, I'll just put that out there. But
I'm never going to be able to leave Springfield now. Y'all have got. I mean, I told
You're
Miss
hooked.
I told Kay Bagby, whom I love dearly, I said, y'all are stuck with me now. I hope you realize what you've gotten yourself into.
Yeah.
Fun.
All right. You can see us Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 at 301 Fifth Avenue West. Our doors are open. We're excited to see you and give you a tour of the facility. Lots of things have changed, and we're proud of it, and more changes are coming. Little Miss
Come
on a
to watch you
roll
out here. I
is
haven't
ready
done
to
a
do
full
some
tour
things. Yes.
Since y'all have moved, I really haven't. Done
You
it.
haven't, have you?
I haven't. I've been, in different parts.
I thought
of
we
it.
were friends. I'm just kidding.
Well,
I'm
and
just
I mean,
kidding.
they have our beautiful banners that Lacie designed. That Wyatt's Lawn Service just got back up for us
Yes.
this week. So you really, and we're about to do more exterior work that designates us as an art center, as well as
Yes.
some interior projects. And I mean, you can't drive down Fifth and not recognize that we are there.
Absolutely.
To
Have you seen the
do
banners?
some arts.
I
You know,
have, I think. I mean, yeah.
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 Well, they came down because
I saw them before they came down, but they're back up.
Yeah.
they're back up.
Yeah,
Yes.
back up.
Okay.
They're so fun.
Very good. Very
But
good.
You can find us on Facebook,
Right.
Instagram,
Yep.
All the things.
Willow Oak Arts. We are not Willow Oaks. It is Willow
I
Oak
really
Arts.
work hard not to put the S on there.
I said we're gonna make T-shirts. Willow Oaks.
Willow.
Willow
Willow Oak Arts.
Arts. That's our hashtag. You can find us anywhere with that. You can email us, or you can visit our website. Our website is packed full of information
Yes, it
about
is.
upcoming stuff. I had somebody stop in the other day when we were hanging the banners, and she said, "I went to your website, and I'm not even gonna lie, it was overwhelming." And I said, "Oh, thank you." Yes,
I love it.
It's organized overwhelming, but it is a lot. She said because, her 9-year-old can take the crochet with adults, but then there's also kids classes that she can take, and then there's classes they can't take. So we just went through and highlighted everything that was available, and it was more than half.
Mm-hmm.
So when you see in our catalog, and it's like 9+, that means you could be taking a class with a 50-year-old.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
I love that. See, I
You make
love that.
connections too.
That's one of the things I love about my congregation where I go to church is because when I worked there, I worked in an aspect that it exposed me to some folks. There were some folks in their 90s that I would have never known.
Mm-hmm.
And just the beauty of that relationship, it just, I love crossing those generations. And I think I love the fact that I'm 62 and I'm teaching teenagers. I've told this yesterday when Dr. Weeks was in here last week because I've got some new students because I've got some AV1s in there. And so they're just getting to know me. And the question is, how old are you? And, that kind of thing. They're always kind of looking at me because I'm one of the oldest teachers on campus now.
Yeah.
And something was said before I revealed my age, and I said something about my background in broadcast. I said I started in radio broadcasting in 1980, and one of the students went, his chin just dropped like, what? That's like ancient time.
Yeah.
But it's just when I said 1980, I mean, he was just it's
Chiseling in stone.
We were on wagons on the Oregon Trail, y'all,
it was
just so you know.
hysterical. The look on his face, and I just laughed out loud. I said, I'm 62. And he was just like, because I'm older than their grandparents, some of them,
Right.
And so it just blows their mind. But I think they just need exposure to these older generations, and so I love that about the classes.
Yeah.
It's 5 plus.
And the corral.
Yes.
The corral.
You got
These seventh
youngins.
graders.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then they have
Beautiful
fun with
thing.
them. They have
Yes.
fun.
Isn't it cool?
It really is
That's
cool.
so cool. We need to do a break before I get off track,
absolutely.
and then don't let me forget about the class once you teach, okay?
All right.
All right, so let's talk Barry and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty. All right, I pulled up Rebecca's Facebook page just now, and she's got a post on here from earlier last week where she said, do you suffer from nightmare tenants? Do they pay late, break stuff, constantly complain, looking for some relief? Here is what you need. It's Sell It All. And then she's got a capsule. Take 2 of these and call me in the morning. I love that. That's hysterical. Maybe you're sick of the whole landlord thing. You want to just sell it all? Call Becky, call Barry or Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty, and maybe it's time. You're just like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm out of the landlord business, and you want to just sell it all? Well, she can help you out. They're experts at what they do. They're just dear friends in the community. If you talked about anybody in the area, I had Jamie Nixon in here earlier this week, and he was talking about how involved they are in the community of Cross Plains because they're Cross Plainians. They've been there for about 30 years. And like me, they're originally from Kentucky, but they've worked all over. They've got a very diverse background. His in marketing. She was in radiology before she went into the real estate business, but she, worked all over, but she's been a long time been in real estate. She's one of the first in the area to be a seniors real estate specialist. They are specialists at what they do. They're with the Exit team. They're Exit Prime Realty. They worked with the Garden Gate team for years and years. But when Barry opened his brokerage office in downtown, then they took that office and partnered with, I don't know, trying to get the right tense there, but they got together with her real estate office, her agency office in White House, and they brought you a new branch in the Exit tree, Exit Prime Realty. Now, if you have buying or selling you want to do, they can help you there. Maybe you want to be a realtor. They can mentor you and help you, whether it be part-time, full-time, whatever it is you want to do. And again, the marketing background that Barry has is priceless when it comes to making sure your property is going to pop and it's seen in the absolute best light. You want to contact them, go to sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or buy, B-U-Y, robertsoncounty.com, or give Rebecca a call. If you want to just sell it all, 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425. Always please let them know their ad dollars are working and that U-Turn sent you. And as we get on back into it, guys, we want to continue just talking about everything going on at Willow Oak, not Willow's Oaks. It's Willow Oak. Okay, it's the creative director. What is it? Okay.
Executive director.
Executive director. I was looking for the title. The executive director is Bel Stuart. Of course, Lacie Beu. Her title is communications, marketing, what? Events. I was like, I'm forgetting one of them. And so here's my question for you.
Yeah.
You were talking about playwright. So you've written a play?
I have. I actually have a original musical called Sayre that is set at an open mic night in Nashville.
Fun.
And based on the
That sounds
muses
fun.
of Greek mythology that is going to be opening up right before February 28th to kick off Women's History Month up in Mount Juliet.
That's my jam right
Yeah.
there.
We have our table read tonight, so we're
Man,
about
that
to get in the
sounds
thick
so
of it.
much fun. That just sounds wonderful.
I grew up doing open mics, so
I love that. Love
there's
that.
nothing. It's really about the power of community between women and how we get through things together.
I love that.
And if you're a Nashvilleian and you were born to hit the stage, how you do that is by working it out in front of an audience.
Yeah, that's cool. I love that whole concept. But now I've got a play that I want to write. And so I need somebody to show me how to do it because I don't know. I had a kiddo, one of my kids in my class that I miss terribly, Jacob Ballas. He loves to write, and he can put together scripts and things like that. And he was showing me how he did it. He had an app that he did it, and then he graduated. And so I learned so much from my kiddos.
Yeah.
And so I had and he didn't show me this app until like right before he graduated, and I've got so many questions. And so, I don't get to pick his brain anymore. And so I need to understand how to navigate that a little bit better. And because I'm always trying to learn stuff for what I'm teaching, and that's not what I'm teaching, I haven't had time to really jump into it. I would love to have a class on writing a play.
Yeah.
I really would. And I thought about starting it kind of with a novella.
Yeah.
Writing just writing the story, because I can do that. I've written books and things like that, so I can do that. So I thought maybe, is that a good place to start?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I am a professional storyteller. I've been doing it for years. I love to do it. And
I'd love for somebody to teach me to do that.
Really, everything we do these days, and especially, and this ties into like your career path when you're educating people, we all have a story, and your story is your brand.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, that's where we're at, folks. And so, just learning, I love doing workshops and things, just to get people to develop their own story.
Yeah.
And find their voice, because I think that's such an important, it's an important and empowering skill to have for yourself, but whether you're putting that into a song or a play or a novella or a full-length novel, start small and then build up from there, because really when you get into formatting for larger things like an entire full-length play, don't write a full-length play, write a one-act. There are write a skit, write a monologue. There are things you can do to make it manageable and not so scary right off the bat, that you can kind of dip your toe in the water and then go from there. And that's kind of what I did over the years. So yeah, there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity to tailor that however you want to do it.
Okay, because I have written a couple of little skits for my kiddos. We did one based on The Legend of Sleepy Hollow just recently.
Oh, that's a great story. Yeah.
Yeah, and we just a little skit that went along with it, and I try to do kind of almost a parody kind of feel for it to keep the kids. When Ides of March, we did one last year.
Oh yeah,
and we're going to redo that, and we're going to do it much bigger, because that was one of those kind of last minute things. I thought, we need some of the Ides of March, and so I sketched something out and had the kids do it. And we're going to get theater involved and all that, or we're going to try to. They're putting together a big musical, so I don't know how much they're going to want to bother with us right now. But, nonetheless, so I guess I have written a couple of skits. I hadn't thought about that.
Well, and that's a great opportunity also to pull in smaller skits like that, or a lot of times the best place to find unknown actors, kids that don't think that they want to act because they're intimidated by doing a full musical or a full play. But then they do a short skit and realize, oh, I love this. This is fun.
This is fun. I can do this.
Yeah. And it's not such a huge amount of work to learn their lines and whatever. And and you can also do improv with that too, and tie that in. And I mean, it's a great way to introduce people to kind of that avenue that maybe would be intimidated or just not interested otherwise,
that learning the lines, I think, is the thing that keeps me from wanting to try out for something, because I'm like, I could never learn those scripts. There's no way. And I could when I was a kid. I had a great memorization when I was a child, but I think I had some really rebel years that didn't help me there, right after that. But we won't go there.
They got apps for that now too. I mean, you
Really?
can be in your car. Like I did a play this summer, and it was the first time I've been on stage in a play in a very, very long time.
Yeah.
And my memory's not what it was 20 years ago either. But I used this app, and on my drive to Mount Juliet to rehearsal, I would just be rehearsing my lines in the car with this app, and
fun.
I got through it and did great. It was I'm not going to say there wasn't some nail biting involved on a couple of occasions, but I proved to myself that I can do it, because that's another thing too. You get, sometimes you're like, oh, well, I did that when I was younger. I can't do that now. Yes, you can.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want to do.
Oh, I agree.
You just got to start.
I agree. I still want to be Tandy Tucker. I mean, not really, but
Well, I mean, maybe we need to be having a women in country theme night.
I'm more of a Southern rock. I mean, that was just somebody, that's one thing you think about access. I had access to some wonderful things, but then there was a whole lot of things I didn't even know existed.
Yeah.
I didn't even really realize when I was at the age of, from a very small kid, I sang. And I really had a desire to be on stage in the middle of things, And so that's just who I heard, because we had Hee Haw,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Love
man,
Hee
once
Haw.
I got exposed to Hart and Leonard Skinner and all those, I'm like, oh, I'm a rocker. So I'm more Southern rock to the core, but and I like Southern rock guys, contemporary Christian. I love contemporary Christian music. And I even, the Epiphany, the We Imperfect Few let me sing with them on Tuesday nights up at CR. So I get to sing in their little band, and it's just so
nice.
special
Yeah.
to me that they let me I tell them, you're the first ones that's ever let me come play in the sandbox, And so that's real special for me. But if I could say my druthers on it, I love Crowder and all those guys, that real edgy, that kind of stuff. That's my thing. That's my jam, and I just, that's what I feel like I can just get into more, So, I mean, that's more my style than just country.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm somebody who fronted rock bands in my younger years, and and didn't want to have anything to do with country, even though I grew up singing a ton of traditional bluegrass and country.
You sing what they need, right?
And but there's all of that. There's not a major rock band that you can name off that doesn't have a Nashville influence somewhere.
Exactly. People have no idea.
Yeah, I don't care who you're talking about.
Recorded here. Oh, it's crazy.
So it's I've kind of learned to appreciate my roots as I've gotten older. I mean, I still would, probably rather sing something more along the lines of Alice in Chains or,
Gotcha.
I don't know. I've done a lot of hard rock and metal and punk and every genre and show tunes. You just don't know what I'll pull out.
Never done metal and punk. I've never done that, but I wouldn't even know where to begin on that. But anything bluesy. Is
blues,
I love anything
Blues is
bluesy.
great.
Have y'all met? Do you know Tommy Marsh?
I don't.
Crooked Eye. Oh, you got to meet Crooked. You know Crooked Eye.
I know of him.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, he's phenomenal. He's blues. He's blues,
Nice.
and he won a award last year, I think. And he puts on a blues festival every year that's just not been well attended, and I don't know why, because it's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. I was actually in Michigan this last year for it, so I'm not really sure what the attendance was this last time, but we just can't seem to get people out there, and I mean, just incredible. But yeah, you need to meet Tommy Marsh.
Oh, nice.
You guys would definitely like each other.
Yeah, I love the blues.
So,
I mean, I have spent a lot of time down in Clarksdale, Mississippi, and Oxford, and just kind of on the blues trail down there in the Delta area. And
you got to meet Crooked Eye.
yeah, it's I mean, it's just great. It's
He
just
plays
great
around
music.
town a lot. He plays around town a lot. I'll get you next time I see. I'll send y'all some info on him, because y'all need to connect with him. He's just a really great guy. But I mean, all these connections, we just need to get everybody connected.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to do through Willow Oak. So while we've got, what are you most excited about coming up? We haven't talked exactly about. I mean, I know we've got the big festivals and the Art in the Park and all of the gala, all of that. But do you want to mention those, or is there a particular class you want to is there something new this year?
Well, let's talk about the gala for a second,
Okay, let's
because
do that.
Absolutely.
our fundraising goals for the gala this year tie in with all of the things.
Sure.
It'll be the first year that we're really going to gear towards making the arts even more accessible, hopefully raising enough funds through the gala to offer free programming, free art classes, free workshops through 2025.
That's awesome.
And that's a goal. If we meet the goal, we'll be able to do it. We know that we will raise some funding for it. We know that. So after the gala happens and everybody shows up and has the time of their life, we will be able to put some money towards that. Wouldn't it be cool if we were able to raise enough money to pay so everybody could take free classes through 2025?
Oh, that's great.
That would be amazing. Teachers get paid. General operating is funded.
Yeah.
The students get accessibility without having to worry about their budgets.
Yeah. Our senior citizens that are looking for
Absolutely.
activities can come hang out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
It'll be huge for our outreach.
yeah.
This year's gala, Modern Art Gala,
Uh-huh.
I can't spill any secrets because I've heard it's top secret.
It's very top secret.
It's very top secret. Last year
We're
was
very excited.
We're very excited. We've got a couple surprise interactive performances.
Oh.
We've got a new live band.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
North Nash Catering is
Okay.
still catering.
Yeah.
Okay.
We begged them to do it again.
Yeah, and they're super excited.
She said,
She's
"I
working on the
get-
menu as we speak.
Oh, it's so fun.
Fun.
Yeah.
The chorale's going to perform two major songs.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was about to say it. I'm trying to tell all the secrets.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
Dr. Causey still in the band or in the chorale?
So the crowd kicks back off
Yeah.
in January, February. I'm not
Okay,
sure. I'm
okay.
sure he probably will be.
Yeah. I just
I
thought,
don't-
that was so cool. He was our former director of schools and a dear friend, and he was the one who was like, "You got to come do this, LaVern." And I just thought I didn't know you sang. All these people that I sing chorale, I'm like, I didn't know
Yeah.
they sing.
And he's also really easy to talk to. If I
yeah.
ever get frustrated or just kind of, as a nonprofit, you have
Yeah.
challenges, you have struggles.
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
call Dr. Causey. I'm like, "Hey, can you talk for a second?"
Yeah, I
I'm
just
like,
need some
"Yeah,
advice.
Yes.
So, but anyway, so I'm sorry, I got you
That's
off
okay.
track. So the chorale's going to perform.
The
Yeah.
crowd's going to perform.
Okay.
Well, and let's talk a little bit about the theme. I mean, we're already getting questions. Well, what does modern art mean?
Yeah, okay.
And
We're going to, modern art was the first movement towards from traditional portrait historic art that everybody thinks of when you think of the original art. What was
Okay.
original art? It was war art. It was
Yeah.
portrait art. It was archival. It was
Yeah.
archival.
Yeah.
Then
Classical. Yeah.
It became abstract. Then you get the Van Goghs and the Monets and the Kandinskys and
Impressionism.
yes, all the things.
Yeah.
They were the first rebels,
Mm.
right? They're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
We've all experienced that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody doesn't
Love
understand,
Van
but
Gogh.
guess what
I
it
mean, he
is?
just- he
Right?
mentioned, my sister just was passionate about Van Gogh, and
Yeah, he really does strike a chord with
a lot of
most
people. Yeah.
I think. I mean, I'm a fan myself.
Mhm.
But I mean, that's
Think
you know,
modern art
there's- yeah,
centerpieces, sculpture centerpieces.
Absolutely.
Think modern art performance. What does that mean? It could be something exciting. I'm not sure. We might have something
Sure.
exciting up our sleeves.
Okay.
Think dress art.
Mm-hmm.
Think how you dress. Be fun. Be creative with your outfits.
Yeah. I mean, because modern art, does start at a period in the 1800s where you are seeing still some of that neoclassical influence and things like that, and like the very soft. When you think of Monet, when you're thinking of like the beautiful dappled lighting on the water lilies paintings and things like that, Renoir, all these different artists, but. I mean, modern art brings you straight on up through artists like Georgia O'Keeffe, with all her beautiful landscape and, Southwest influence and florals, and Frida Kahlo and Andy Warhol. So you're getting into your pop art kind of era
Yeah.
too. So, I mean, it really is such a great, vast thing that you can interpret and really pull what speaks to you. So, I mean, it is a gala. So, I mean, obviously it is more of a fancier black tie situation for us. But I mean, that doesn't mean you can't have fun with that and you can't
Right.
find some creativity. We're going to be. So we encourage y'all to.
It was with us, our fundraising goals, this being geared towards accessibility,
Yeah.
free art classes, community outreach, all the things. We wanted everybody there to know constantly, everywhere you look, you're going to be reminded why you're there.
Yeah.
It's going to, lots of conversations, lots of inspiration, lots of connection through the arts. The entire gala is going to be centered on that.
Very cool.
From the chandelier to the centerpieces to the performances,
To the food.
yes.
And it's at the center.
It is at the center.
We love the center. It's so much fun when you go to the center just during the day, and then you come in there for an event and you're like, what?
I know. And they're so wonderful.
It's so fun. Yeah.
They're so wonderful.
Yeah.
From the setup to
Yeah.
the staff that's there through the events, to the breakdown, and to planning. Whenever I'm calling Terry Martin, I'm like, hey, is a 30-foot rig okay for an aerial silk artist?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, we'll talk about it. And then we made it happen. We made it happen.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
very good. So what else have you got on here? Because I see Lee Marie coming in. So the Ghost Show's coming up next. She'll be coming in here for another full hour of local radio programming. But we've got about 5 minutes.
You want me to talk fast?
Yo, you just, I'm going to shut my mouth and y'all go.
Guys, we have got a packed schedule. January through April, and from everything from Mommy and Me, afternoon arts for kids after school, homeschool kids, needle felting, beginner crochet. Never mind, January's beginner crochet is full. There's a couple classes that are full. Everybody wanted the hand building pottery classes, so we've got introduction to ceramics coming, plein air watercolor, drawing classes, all the classes. These classes are available to anyone who wants to take them. If there's an age restriction, just give us a call, because we don't want to turn anyone away just because there's a small, a 1 year difference kind of thing. There are scholarship opportunities. Whenever you go to our website and you visit our classes tab with all the different classes, it can be overwhelming. That's why these schedules, you can view and download the schedules online, or you can just give us a call, ask us, tell us what you're interested in, and we can help make those connections for you.
Okay.
You can download it, and then just the scholarship application is on the classes tab. So sorry.
Okay.
Just download it. We don't ask any personal confidential. We just have to have it for our records, basically, and we will make it accessible to you. Musetta started that 17 years ago. 17 and a half years ago. Wow. 17 and a half years ago. That she doesn't want anyone turned away. So we say that. We're thankful for our sponsors. The gala, we have many sponsorship opportunities coming up, of course. These sponsorship opportunities will help us meet those fundraising goals. They will help us take these performances to the schools like we do with Art Fest when we turn it into a field trip. They will help us connect with other organizations that might not have these opportunities. The Tennessee Arts Commission, amazing. South Central Growers have been consecutive
Love South Central.
large donors. I think this is their 4th year donating. Community Foundation of Middle Tennessee, United Community Bank, TriStar Northcrest Medical Center. They're wonderful. Drawn Brothers Management, LLC. This is a creative sponsor. Whenever we say we want to do something and we have an idea for something, this is a sponsor that helps make those ideas happen. They all sponsor their own things. CSI, Community Spirit Incorporated, they're another nonprofit organization, but they had the ability to give back to our organization through the partnership that we've grown and nurtured. The City of Springfield, I can't say enough about the City of Springfield. I cannot. Ask and you'll receive. I'm over the moon for where we live. Robertson County Economic Development Board, they're the ones that help fund the banners and the lighting and anything else. Renee Harrington, local realtor, she's founding board member, has supported Willow Oak for 17 and a half years. That's a long time. That is amazing.
I need you to take your sponsor list and just fill the show.
Right?
Because I've got all these people. I'm like, oh, yeah, I've been wanting to call them. Oh, yeah, I've been wanting to call them. Oh, yeah, I've been wanting to call them. So I'm just going to, I'm going to
Well, so let's get Terry Martin in here one day, and I'll come with him.
Terry comes in all the time, and it's
That's
about
when
we're due to get him in here again.
When he does, text me, and that'll be one of those, I'll just drop in. Surprise!
Okay. I can do that.
And if y'all have had, if maybe you have been a Willow Oak patron in the past and you've paused that or taken a break or, because a lot of the arts did get paused with COVID and we're starting to ramp back up again 5 years later. It took a minute. If you want to hear more about the opportunities and the changes that we're implementing and the community outreach that we are all dedicated to providing for Robertson County and beyond, please don't hesitate to come by and see us during business hours or drop us an email. Give us
some ideas. We want to know what the community wants us to offer because we want to make it available.
We want to support our community, so
love it
and grow that.
These are for you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I'm so glad to meet you, and I'm sure we'll be talking some more. I think it's just wonderful. So, love it. Love Willow Oak, all the things you do, and appreciate you guys joining us. Anytime you need me, she's got my number. Give it to her.
Absolutely.
Text me, let me know. And speaking of the arts, you can go to Well in the Square and get dance lessons from our sweet Lee Marie. She teaches dance. She's very good. And so she has dance classes all the time. I'm sure she'll tell you about it, but I can tell you I've had some classes with her. A lot of fun. very gifted and does a great job, and it's good exercise too. So get your dancing on too.
I don't have time for that.
Well, in the square. Oh, you're funny. Thank you guys for joining us. Stay
Have a great
tuned.
day.
Stay tuned. We've got one more hour of live local programming here on 1100 WSGI. Stay tuned for the Go Show coming up next. God bless. Have a great day.